Welcome back to the counter. It's been a while since the last video, but I have been working hard. I've been trying to teach myself how to paint over the past probably 6 months, and that's paint with a brush. Completely inspired by some brilliant abstract artists. But I was getting bored with the practice, and so I decided to just leap into something practical. So what I did was I took an old resin background that I did. Then I masked off and used acrylic paint with a brush to blend in these other shapes and designs. And this is more me, the three-dimensional trick of the eye, using paint shades and perspective drawings. So that's what I've been doing, and I then went ahead and poured a couple of backgrounds to do something similar, and basically lost the plot with this one. Much too busy. Anything that you would put on here would detract from the actual design that I put on here. So today I'm going to cover this and turn it into a resin pour, and I will be using lines for movement as well. Now, of course, when you do lines in resin, there's a couple of things you need to know or to do, and that is make sure you're perfectly level. So I've got my leveling board like my other ones, only this one's a bit round. This is actually a Lazy Susan, so I can spin it if I want to. So the level is really important. That way any resin won't pull your line out of shape if it's not perfectly flat. The other thing is the type of resin that you're using and the type of pigments that you're using. There's no point using a resin where your pigments fall through really quickly. You want a resin and a pigment combination where your pigments will float and stay on top of the resin. Now, I can't recommend any particular brand of resin or paint or pigment combos for this. You'll need to just test it in your environment. So let me get the colours. We're going to do some neon pinks and reds and yellows again. It's about time to put some brights into my painting, and we'll see what we get. And we're back. Okay, the colours that I've chosen today will be my neons, neon gold, neon orange, and a true red. May even put a little bit of pink in there, I'm not sure. My pigments are Art Tree Creations, Opaque Black and Iceland White. My micas are a gold, which is my Merit Gold, Deep Purple, which is a nice warm purple, and then Royal Red, which is like a coffee type red. Nice, and again, not sure how much of these I'll use. The resin I'm using is Envirotex Light. It's a 2-part epoxy pigment that is mixed 1:1. So 1 part A by 1 part B by volume. The tools that I'll use to use my line, to make my lines, will be these plastic spatulas. Again, not sure how many of these I'll use, but we'll see how we go. This is a 16 by 20 inch canvas, and normally you'd use about 400 to 450 mils worth of resin. I'll probably mix around 500 because there'll be wastage in amongst so many colours. So let me go and mix some resin, and we'll get on with the pour. Okay, we're back. So I've mixed my colours. I've got my neon gold, my neon orange, and my neon red. A little bit of white and some clear if I need it. Now, if you remember in my other videos, what I suggest is I always add 1, maybe 2 drops of white ink to my neons, and that just gives them enough opacity to pop. on the darker colours. You'll still be able to see these shadows through these neons, but it just adds to the colour. So 2 drops. Now this is just Resin's ink, but you can use any ink that you like. Make sure your powders are mixed properly so that you don't get any bits. And a bit more on the red. 1, 2. And that's all you need. Now this is the normal reminder. My windows are wide open, my extractor fan is on, and you might be able to hear that in the background. I'm in a very wet, well ventilated area. If you do not have that sort of environment, please wear a respirator. And also when you're working with powder pigments, they have a tendency to fluff into the air. So make sure you keep your face and your breathing well away from powder pigments. I'm double gloved, I've got my wipes, I've got my tools, my torch is filled. I think we're about ready. So my plan is I'm going to layer the colours inwards, so from darker lightwards inwards, and I will mix the darker mica colours in a second batch while this settles. Okay, so I'll ring with red. Bring down the orange. Beautiful colours. And then with yellow. Tiny bit of white just in the middle. And I think we'll just put a little bit of clear to get this dark line. Now I'm going to heat this using my heat gun. Helps if you turn it on. Not very much, and then I'm going to use my hands to just draw it along. See how we're getting those beautiful streaks? Just do my edges. And you can do more if you feel the need. Add some depth to the red. Now you can see the shadows of the underneath. Now this is really only forming a base for when we do the next bit. So don't be too concerned, as long as you've got your movement in the general direction that you want to go. In this case mine's going acrossways. You can just sweep more in there. And I just want to make sure I've got coverage on my edges. Just using up this spare resin, letting it sit while I mix the next lot. It's become a little bit too orange. So what I might do is might do a bit of lacing around here. And I'll use my heat gun. Oh. There, that's much better. Okay, let's leave that, and I'll go and mix up some more resin. I might just, while I'm here, just Spread that around a bit. That looks a little bit less stylised. Let's get rid of some of that. Okay, now I'll go and mix the next lot of resin. Be back in a sec. This is where all plans have to be flexible. I'm actually really liking that as it is. So what I might do is I might just leave it as it is. I mean, that looks like a beautiful alien seascape. Wasn't quite what I planned on using it for, but there you go. I can still choose to paint on this as it is. Do you feel ripped off? I'm going to have to do another one now for you. Okay, if I'm going to keep this the way it is, I just need to fix this part up here. Well, there you go. Sorry that it's not the video you thought it was going to be, but I'll have to do another one for you because I like that too much to actually change it at this point. Let me bring you down and so you can have a look. Just check the edges. Okay, so this is what we've got. The background shadows give some beautiful depth to blood red skies. Lots of lacing happening in there. But you can see what I mean about how this pigment floats quite nicely over the top and doesn't sink. Excellent. Okay, well, probably just a quick torch of the bubbles in about 20 minutes and we're done.